what I noticed is that for the first 25, 30 or so minutes, he tried to sort of bend over backwards to be gracious and kind to Zelensky. Even when Zelensky was kind of needling him, even when Zelensky was saying things that I thought were untrue, the president just tried to be diplomatic, right? I think that's his natural instinct in that situation. And then when it really went off the rails, of course, is when I asked, or you had a Polish journalist who asked a question, the president answered it, and then I answered it, and then something about my answer just really set Zelensky off. So then he came at me.
So you're blaming yourself.
then I went back at him, right. And what I tried to do originally was actually try to diffuse the situation a little bit, because I'm like, we're having this meeting. Obviously, there are 100 television cameras here. Let's try to have this conversation in private. And then the president, as we kept on going back and forth, I tried again to say, well, maybe we should have this conversation in private. And the president was like, nope, actually, I don't want to have it in private anymore. I want to have this actual conversation in public for the American people to see. And I do think that there was just a certain sense of, there was a lack of respect. There was a certain sense of entitlement. And most importantly, look, we can look past all of that stuff, but the president has set a very clear goal for his administration. He wants the killing to stop. And I think that it's very important that President Zelensky and, of course, President Putin, too, they've both got to come to the negotiating table, and that's ultimately where things broke apart.
NATO is a defensive organization.
How is it defensive?
Because it has never acted proactively, aggressively.
Really? Where were you when the Yugoslavia war was going on? And they were bombing the shit out of Christians in Yugoslavia. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was pretty offensive.
NATO has always operated in a defensive capacity.
Really?
Yes.
That's how they created Kosovo? Defensively?
It was defensive.
Oh, it was?
Yes, it was.
Who was the aggressor there?
Well, you know, my brother-in-law was literally there.
Just a minute. What you're saying is insane.
It's not insane. NATO has never actually acted unilaterally.
Okay, so the Soviet Union collapses.
It's never attacked anybody without being attacked. It's always been defensive.
Who in Yugoslavia attacked NATO?
Look.
Just no. Here's the point where you just admit defeat. Bow your head and be like, you know what? I bow before superior knowledge. I totally got this wrong. I can't believe I had such a silly idea. I'm sorry.
Republicans absolutely voted for this.
Okay, people do not want government waste, that's for sure. But they didn't vote for foresters to get fired.
Look,
they didn't vote for the parks to be closed.
Look, you
veterans to be fired.
You guys keep trying to create this fantasy land where Donald Trump is not popular, where Republicans are mad.
Republicans are mad. They shut down the town halls.
Can you name a single Democrat in Congress who's more popular than Donald Trump right now?
Listen,
Answer, no.
Scott,
the reality is Republicans are so happy with this. They're not upset about it.
No,
the American people are happy about what's going on right now because for the first time in a long time, a president said,
Scott,
I'm actually going to reduce the size of government.
Please. Thank you, Mr. President. Prime Minister Starmer claimed repeatedly that his government believes in free speech and was not engaged in censorship. But his country's government arrests people for memes and thought crimes, and even more worrisome is pressuring American companies to censor Americans on his behalf. How can he be a reliable, trustworthy partner when he says things that are demonstrably false on such an important topic?
Well, we actually spoke to him about that yesterday, and we thought they took it very, very much too far. JD was very strong on it. So was I. So was Marco, and we've been speaking to him about it. Marco, would you like to say something about that?
We have concerns, obviously, with the conduct of those, particularly as it impacts Americans. And there's real concern that American speech, which is online, could fall into the hands of British or any country's jurisdiction. And so this is a point the Vice President made of Munich, and I think it's a very compelling one, that what unites us with Europe, as much as anything else, is these shared values, and one of them being free speech. And so if Americans are threatened by it, we're going to need to take action in that regard.
Mr. President. It's actually a very important question.
We spoke about this in detail with the Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, and others at lunch yesterday. And I know that Secretary of Commerce Lutnick followed up in private meetings last night. This is really important. We believe Americans have the right to speak their mind, even if we in this room disagree with them. They have the right to speak their mind in the public square, which is often online these days. And we're going to defend that right as it pertains to American companies and American citizens vigorously if we have to. I do think that under the President's leadership, we're going to find common ground with our friends in the UK on this question, but it remains to be seen. The principle that will guide us is we believe in free speech in this country, and we'll fight for it for American citizens.
this was a bit awkward for Keir Starmer.
It's a special relationship with our friends in the UK, but we also know that there have been infringements on free speech.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom.
Really? Like when a 54-year-old grandmother got a home visit from the Thought Police. A Facebook post in which she criticised Labour councillors, like in Scotland, where if you live anywhere near an abortion clinic, praying inside your own home near a window could be deemed illegal. Sam Mellier in prison for 2 years for distributing stickers criticising mass immigration. Lee Dunn guilty of racially aggravated social media posts. Derek Heggie guilty of making racially aggravated comments during a YouTube live stream. Thousands of arrests every year for mean tweets. 250,000 last year. They were locking up so many people for speech crimes. Actual violent criminals had to be released to make room for them all. According to Sir Keir, none of that ever happened.
You don't care about this country, and that is unacceptable if you claim to be the president of the United States. So we are here. We are not going anywhere. We are going to continue to fight back, and we are going to continue to speak lies to his truth, to his stealing, and to his cheating. Thank you.
Tuesday night, and we are live. Hope everybody's doing good. As always, be blessed in Jesus' mighty name. Let me say to everybody in the chat, Aaron, just break in if it goes to the announcement with Trump walking in.
Will do.
You can just actually split screen it right now if you want.
All right.
So we can just, and that way everybody knows what's going on. Try the guy will turn any minute now, and then we'll turn and say, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States. This is John Ratcliffe right there, CIA director. It's a long, long cabinet and administration coming through here right now. Hey, Naz Yeager is on. Wilbur's Bud 1 is on. Veronica 18201 is on. Key Lime 13 is on. Waterline 46 is on. Earth Tours is on. 23 Justin Blake is on. Golf Master 1 is on. Robin Aroni's on. Dave Souders is on. Richard Perry 49 is on. Luann 5 is on. Granite 2468 is on. Lynn Custer is on. Gloyd Shaw is on. Buckeye Nut 1968 is on. Judy Anita is on. Dave Souders is on. 23 Justin Blake is on. Richard Perry 49 is on. Whammy Jammer 79 is on. Big Jim Go Blue is on. Conservative Waffle is on. Lisa Kinzer 11960 is on. Todd Suff is on. Mike Griffith's on. Sexy Pony's on. Hassle Free TV is on. Waterline 46 is on. Let me see here. George Bowden is on. Mark 1069 is on. All right, appreciate you guys. We'll get this thing rolling here. Here we have, there's Mark Wayne Mullen spotting people here in the crowd. There's Pete Hegseth right there, Defense Secretary, numerous other people. It's not looking like it's running too late. What time is it right now? 9:08. That's not too bad.
Yep.
I don't know how long the speech is supposed to be tonight. An hour or so. These podcasts throw me off, folks. Just so you know, because you just want to talk over people. You don't want to say things when everybody else wants to hear what Trump is actually saying. Marsha Blackburn there, spotting people in the crowd. Of course, RFK Jr. right there. But anyway, I don't know if we should run anything or not. No, there's Pam Bondi. I guess it's easy to see with the long blonde hair. The processional takes so long to clear the middle aisle. Yeah. It's like Trump can't even get in. So, I mean, from what I've heard, the rumors are tonight that there might be a announcement that the minerals rights deal has been reached in Ukraine. I don't know exactly how that will work since the mineral rights deal was already done with the UK. I guess it could split it in half, other regions, whatever it may be. That's the rumor that this is that will possibly be announced tonight. This is usually just a Robin Aroni, Pastor Tom, how do you like the pink Pepto-Bismol? That's good timing, Robin Aroni. Good timing. That's what I'll do. Is I'll just hang out with you guys in the chat. But anyway, look out! They can't even orchestrate a good Pep. We're just going to steal Robin Aroni's name for the rest of the night. They can't even orchestrate a really proper Pepto-Bismol rally because they're all kind of broken up. And some of it's pink and some of it's just blood red, which would be apropos considering they're all for slaughtering the unborn. But anyway, we'll see. And I've heard also rumors tonight of possible walkouts, stuff like that. So we'll see. How if they signed a deal, they got female man 58. How if they signed a deal on they did sign a deal on the 16th of January with the UK. I don't know. I mean, there's lots of mineral rights inside of UK, but by the way, again, we don't even need their mineral rights. We can get them from other countries. There's Byron Donalds, Marco Rubio right there, but Florida continues. There's Sean Duffy in the background there. Gosh, this takes a long time for all these people to get through here. Christy Gnomes right there. But no, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I honestly, I don't know. And again, that's just one of those rumors a lot of times that doesn't come to fruition because, we've seen this because it was just like the Eagles refusing to go to the White House. And that was absolutely viral. And I already began from that. And I already got burned too because the Eagle thing that I played. No, this is not the Philadelphia Eagles, but the actual soaring eagle thing I played on Sunday morning. That was fake. And I even checked to see if it had been community noted, and it wasn't. So, it still isn't. I checked to see if it was community noted. It still is not community noted. So you just don't know what's true anymore. You don't know what's not. You just have to go to the most reputable sources, people with, tons. The reputable ones with tons and tons of following, not the tons and tons of following. This should be it right now. Looks like they are pointing the camera at the rear door. So be ready. There's nothing Aaron can do. That's their camera angle. Who we off of? This Fox?
This is AP.
AP? Yeah. Okay. So.
They don't talk, so.
Yeah, you just don't. Oh, they don't?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which is nice.
Yeah, that is nice, actually. Yeah, it's true that we're not competing with
And there's no, branding all over.
Yeah, there's no warning. Everybody's back's still turned. Imagine when they do the big yell, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States. But you just have absolutely no idea. What's true and what's not anymore. And like with the Philadelphia Eagles thing, they were like Eagles refusing to go to the White House, and the Eagles, after it had sat there and simmered for a little while, the Eagles pretty much immediately put out, that's an absolute lie. We're just waiting for our invitation. We can't wait to go to the White House. So you have absolutely no idea what's real and what's not. And the sad thing is that some of the trolling and clickbaiting is done by the right. That's the sad thing. Because that was obviously done by a right-winger to stir up anger towards the Philadelphia Eagles, who do have a tendency to list left. But, anyway, it doesn't matter. But you just don't, you don't know what to believe. So I'll be shocked if there is an announcement on the mineral rights deal with the Ukraine tonight. But I'd be thrilled if it was, because, again, it's just another victory. And Trump's going to tout his just absolute string of victories. And you have pretty much, everybody's going to capitulate or has capitulated, has already gotten on their knees as far as the Mexican tariffs, the Chinese tariffs, and the Canadian tariffs. They're all pretty much capitulating. You had an Alberta big wig media pundit talking about wanting to annex into the United States. We'll see. Lots of victories. Trump's stats at the southern border are at absolute record lows. Statistically speaking, the southern border is absolutely closed. Here we go. Turn that up there. Let's see how long, Aaron, let's see how long this procession takes actually to get to the podium. Moving quite along because, obviously Democrats are going to show this hand. Look at them all sitting there. Look how miserable they are. This is so much fun. This is so much fun to look at their misery.
Look at Jasmine.
Who would ever vote for that? Oh, that's her right there in the black, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's still filming it, though. She's still filming it.
With her Gucci suit.
That's right. Yeah, she's a spokesperson for the oppressed. Spokeswoman for the oppressed with a Gucci suit and a Harvard degree. It's so funny because literally only people on the right are shaking. Look at these people. Look at that lady's face right there.
Oh
it's hysterical. Steve Scalise right behind him. There's Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's got to be comforting to have a projectile flying through at the president right there. See that? That's great.
He can do the Ronald Reagan missed me thing, when the balloon pops.
That's right. Pow! Marjorie Taylor Greene reading the Trump was right about everything hat. We got Nancy Mace coming up here. She's turned into quite the warrior. She didn't used to be. She was horrible on 1-6. But look where she's at now. Look where she's at now. He's going in for the hug, but you can't let her hug her because I'm sure he's got makeup on. He'll smear all over her white dress and take off his makeup. So. Pretty quick processional when you're not shaking hands on both sides. There's Schumer. Look how happy he looks. Hey, there's Tricky Dicky Durbin. Chip Roy. Now getting more to his cabinet officials here. Chief Justice Roberts. No friend, but occasionally makes a right decision. It's rare. It's Brett Kavanaugh, Trump nominee. I'm assuming that's Amy Coney Barrett right next to him, another Trump nominee. Thank you for giving me my job, Mr. President, even though I vote against you half the time. Same name, Amy Coney Barrett. Samuel Alito. I think the entire Supreme Court is there already. I think it's. It may have been Lena Kagan between Roberts and Kavanaugh. I can't quite tell.
Yeah, that's what I think it means.
Now we're on the military section.
We're at 3 minutes.
3-minute processional to the podium. It's a 3-minute processional.
Gotta greet the people.
Judy, you need a gloomy Democrats. The gloomy Democrats weren't shaking my hand. See if any Democrat shakes his hand. Who are? Not one, I can tell. Look how happy the Democrats look. Look at them. Look at Bernie Sanders. Feel the burn. Mike Johnson, J.D. Vance. Yeah, it's awfully nice. I know Johnson's been a little weasel, but all right, here we go. We'll just all watch this thing together. I'll try to keep my interjections to a minimum. At least we won't have anybody tear up his speech behind him afterwards. Look at everybody standing and Democrats just sitting there. You know, I should never complain about church again. It's a pretty rough crowd right there, man. They stopped complaining. Church was quiet today. Better never have the church sitting there.
Oh my God! Could you imagine that?
I mean, look at this place. Talk about a study in contrast. And just look to your left. Look to your left.
We're at 5 minutes.
We might be going long anyway in the podcast tonight, and I'm not even talking. Although the audio is not as good with the AP version.
He
has to do with like Fox and stuff with it.
He hasn't started talking yet. Most of that clap is coming from his mic. He's got.
Did Fox do it better, or is that just the way they do it?
It's the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States.
I agree, Judy. We should roast them. No prisoners. Why bother? They're going to hate you no matter what you do. You roast them, they're going to hate you. You don't roast them, they're going to hate you. You can hand them all a free Ferrari tonight, they're all going to hate you. Be with them. Short show tonight, boys.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
This speech is going to be 3 hours long. Ferris in 77 loved this after Biden, someone with a personality. I'm going to try to put together a video of side-by-sides. Trump versus Biden, J.D. Vance versus
6 weeks
Kamala.
ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
Notice how he's looking constantly to his left. That's great. Yeah, Tom Cotton doesn't look very happy. It's because he's secretly rebels. Being fed by NGOs.
I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it.
Ford Honda just signed to build another factory in the United States, canceled
The
their
presidential election
in
of
Mexico.
November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
That's right. Just burn them to the ground. Let the Democrats just sit there.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Yeah, we got somebody. Somebody's disrupting. Who's doing it? Somebody with a cane? Hey, Aaron, take me down. There you go. Just ignore him. What's that putz's name? I can't remember his name.
And won counties in our country.
Sit down. Aaron, take me off.
2,700 to 525 on a map that reads almost completely red.
That's right.
For
Just keep ignoring him.
Republican.
Just keep ignoring him. He's just gonna keep standing there.
For the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction.
He's the one who already tried to. Aaron, you see if you find out who that guy is.
Yep.
He's the one who filed for impeachment.
Al Green.
Al Green, you're the man, Aaron. Al Green.
The most ever.
It's Al Green standing there making an idiot out of himself, which he doesn't have to stand to do.
Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded.
Mr. President.
A 41-point jump.
He's just doing it. Wow, I've never seen anything like this.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
Holy cow.
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Drag his sorry butt out. Drag him out.
How does Texas vote for
Mr.
him?
Green, take your seat.
I don't have no idea.
Take your seat, sir. Take your seat.
Drag him out.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
This is so good. All this does is make Trump look better. Makes the Republicans look better. It makes the Democrats look ridiculous. But this guy's got like a weapon in his hand, too. Now they all need, when he walks out, they all need to start singing. No, 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 no. Hey, 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 goodbye. Get out of here. Scumbag.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you.
All right, here we go.
Over the past 6 weeks,
There you
I
go.
have
That's right.
signed
Don't even
nearly
talk about
100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
That's the way. Just continue on with your speech and just ignore them. I need to learn how to do that myself, but that's good. That's what you do. Don't even recognize the guy. Worst thing you can do to Al Green is ignore him. Just an attention
it has
whore.
been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many.
Absolutely. Yeah, didn't need comprehensive border reform after all. You just need to actually close the border. That's all you need to do. The border is, for all intents and purposes, completely
What makes it
closed.
even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that?
There we go.
How about that?
That's
I don't
right.
know about
And
that
you'll take his spot too.
But we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country.
Exactly.
And what a job they've done.
That's right.
As a
It's closed.
result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
That's awesome. Just like they were when you left the first time. Clear comparison between Democratic administrations and Republican
They heard
administrations.
my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history,
That's what
there
you
were
do.
hundreds of thousands
Drive it
of
home.
illegal crossings a month.
Drive it home.
And virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
There you go. Good job.
Look at
They
their
all look like
signs.
they're sucking on a lemon. Musk steals what? Name what he stole. And Hakeem Jeffries explicitly told them all not to bring those. Look how obedient
So
they are.
Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Save Medicaid. Nobody's done anything to Medicaid. Exactly. Protect veterans. Nobody's done anything to veterans. This is all just lies. I mean, there's nothing. These are all just vacuous statements. There's nothing. There's no statistics behind them to back up anything that those signs say.
My administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future
tough hill. Big Scott one.
that
Tough
America
hill. Yeah, exactly.
deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
73% of Americans support DOGE, by the way. %80 of Americans support banning men from women's sports.
Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization.
Yes, that's right. New World Order.
And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council.
Awesome. That's just a Hamas organization.
We ended all
that supports human rights for Hamas.
Environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction.
That's right. There's no infrastructure to actually charge electric vehicles, so once you buy an electric vehicle, it'll sit dead in your garage because there's no infrastructure to charge all these electric vehicles. We don't build new power plants.
Our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term.
That's right. Exactly right. Exactly right. Imagine standing over there and sitting over there and not applauding cutting federal spending
and
when you're $36 trillion in debt.
We set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job.
Imagine not applauding that. We're for people not showing up to work. That's the 2025 Democratic Party. We're for $36 trillion in debt. We're for circumcisions in Mozambique.
And we've ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good.
That's not right. Too good. Not too good. Look, that's what you do. That's exactly what you do right there. Didn't work out. He's given an address to the joint session of Congress. Eat it. Just eat it.
All government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
That's right. No more meetings between the FBI and the State Department with all the social media heads. That's out now. No more backdoor channels.
And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
Always doing what nobody else has ever done. People claim they're going to do it, and they never do it. They all say they're going to do it, move the embassy to Jerusalem. They never do it, but he does it.
The Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America.
Yeah, exactly what it should be, since it's mostly American. So, the major part of it, the indentation is America. Coastline's equal, but the indent part that actually makes it a gulf is America.
I renamed for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again.
Yes. What do you do? You want to change names? We'll change names.
We love Alaska.
We love Alaska.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military.
And all the corporations can jump on board any faster.
And our country will be woke no longer.
That's right, they're all losing so much money. At Disney, and being woke, they're jumping on board as quick as they can. They actually appreciate that Trump has done this.
We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill
Merit.
and competence, not race or gender. Very important.
Imagine not applauding that. This is how you have to stand as a Democrat. Now, you have to die on the hill of racism.
Based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
It's amazing that you have to make that proclamation, but considering the idiots that are sitting and not clapping. Look at what you have to be a Democrat now. You have to actually believe there's more than two genders. It's what you actually have to believe to be a Democrat. That's your 2025 swastika.
An executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
Amazing you have to do that too. A proclamation to stop men from playing in women's sports. Imagine that.
Three years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side, and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
Boom. That's what you do. That's exactly what you do. I wish they panned down to the Democrats. I'd like to see them sitting there right now. You have this girl who's, look at it, not one of them applauded.
Really want to see numbers,
I thought they were for women's rights.
Just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race, 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women. And it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
And to be a Democrat, you have to be for that. A man winning a race by 5 hours. A man winning a woman's race by 5 hours. Winning a weightlifting meet by 100 pounds. Winning a triple jump by 8 feet. Those are all statistical facts.
What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare.
5.7% inflation when he took office.
Their
5.7%.
policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
That's right. Average house cost over $400,000 before Biden took office was still in the twos. Imagine that accomplishment. And imagine not applauding that if you're a Democrat right now. That housing will be affordable again. Look at Schiff sitting there.
Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control.
Killing all the chickens. He culled 100 million chickens.
Out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down, Secretary. Do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job.
You kill 100 million chickens in the name of the bird flu, yeah, chicken egg prices are going to go up.
A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up those power plants right now.
How are you going to charge all those electric cars when you're shutting down power plants? Just curious. So obvious. It's so obvious they want to control your life.
We have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill.
Need to open up the XL Keystone pipeline, too. If it isn't open already. Oh, that is Canadian. That is Canadian oil.
My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
There you go. Let's get all our rare earths from Russia. Let's just go ahead and let's go all the way here. Let's do it. You know, we just won't consider Russia an enemy or an ally. Let's just get all rare earths from them.
To combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but we'll be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars.
There we go.
As he looks at the Democrats.
Yeah, see, we give me that Doge number, the latest Doge number, what we're up to these days.
And to that end, I have created the brand
163 billion.
163 billion. Trump's already gotten rid of.
Doge.
Right on time. Good job, Aaron.
Perhaps. Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
This is great. This is great. You're all getting dozed. Eat it. What's great is Elon likes it. And he's perfect. The way that he does this is perfect.
Elon.
Put a smile on your face.
Very hard. He didn't need this.
Yeah, female man 58. He actually puts on a suit, unlike Zelensky.
Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste already identified.
This is what you do.
$22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million.
You're a Democrat. You have to be in favor of keeping this going.
Transgender.
A country nobody's ever heard of.
This is real. Awesome. $32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. I don't know what we're doing. Should use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education. The most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
There we go. Everybody says they're going to do it, but only Trump can do it. Only Trump will do it. Because the political consequences to all these people, it's just too grievous to actually operate in honesty and operate in accountability.
And we've taken back the
Good
money
job, Elon.
and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taking back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the
Somebody's
beginning.
screaming. Somebody's yelling.
The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation.
$500 billion.
We are working very hard to
Every
stop
year.
it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love
Yeah, a lot of
rely
Social Security
on.
checks going over to
Believe
Ukraine.
it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129.
Explain that, Democrats.
3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139.
He's pointing this right at the Democrats now.
3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them, and we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck.
A lot
You're
of
gonna
fraud.
find it. But
We'll
a
get
lot
it.
of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does, and it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages
1.3 million.
150 to 159 and over 130,000 people, according to the
130,000.
Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
Yeah, JC 360. $750 for hurricane victims in North Carolina. That's right. Yeah, Maha is already successful if we've got all those millions of people that are 150 years of age or older. Maha has been very successful already.
Including, to finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229 One
Getting
person
checks, baby.
between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360
Older than the United
years
States.
of age.
Older than the United States.
More than 100 years. More than 100 years older than our country.
She shakes his head at the Democrats. That's
But we're
great.
going to find out where that money's going. And it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
We get our Doge rebates, all of our wasted money. So if you're a Democrat right now, you have to stay in your seat and approve of people receiving Social Security checks who are 200 years old.
And today,
that's what it means to be a
interest
Democrat.
rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time.
It's not
And in
Donald
the
Trump. Biblical
near
age is
future,
correct.
I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
Yeah, just simply spend what you bring in, or actually spend less than what you bring in. Instead of bringing in $4 trillion worth of taxes and spending $7 trillion worth of taxes. Increasing government expenditures by 30% under COVID, never lowering down after the alleged pandemic.
With that
If you're a
goal in
Democrat, you gotta
mind,
sit
we have
there and
developed
prove
in
the
great
corruption.
detail what we are calling the gold card, which goes on
This is
sale
brilliant right
very,
here.
very
This
soon.
pisses him off.
For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated.
It's like the green card, but
And
better.
these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring
Exactly
in
what you
brilliant,
do. Look 'em
hardworking,
right in the eye.
job-creating people.
Disgusting people.
They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money.
What are you saying? They're going to what?
They're going to pay a lot of money.
Look at, I mean, you have to sit there as a Democrat and want open borders and rapists to come in.
Have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits,
$36 trillion
and held
in
back
debt.
America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again.
I'm a Democrat. I don't want anybody to show up for work. I want to just keep spending $2 trillion more than what actually comes in tax revenue. That's what it means to be a Democrat right now in the United States of America. No accountability.
Any bureaucrat who resists this
Look at him
change
sitting
will
there.
be removed from office immediately.
Beautiful.
Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
That's right.
And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there. They're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that. But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax.
They tried to put him in prison, tried to destroy all of his businesses and take away his freedom, and tried to assassinate him twice. They don't need any respect. They're not worthy of it.
Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
I wish they would. Oh, look at, there it is. Good. Uncle Wally, you were saying you wish they pan the camera. Me too. Look at them. Democrats are not clapping for no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. I thought they were the party of the working man. What happened?
Want to make interest payments on car
Dave
loans
Souter's right.
tax
No doubt.
deductible,
Spanking,
but only
baby.
if the car is made in America.
No, we don't want it if the cars aren't made in America.
And
That's
by
what
the
it
way,
means
we're
to be
going to have
Democrat.
growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never
Right.
seen. That's
Honda
a combination of the
just
election
guaranteed to
win
open up
and
another one.
tariffs. It's a beautiful word.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Waterline 46, Bully
That,
Pulpit.
along
That's
with
right.
our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world.
New plants being built, new jobs coming in both Republican and
And this
Democratic
has taken
districts.
place
Democrats just
since
sit there.
our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country.
Oh, it will. Oh, well, he points at the Democrats again.
In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country. First term. We had a great
right.
first term.
Yep, lowest unemployment rates amongst women, blacks, and Hispanics.
If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we
Canada
charge
milk
them.
at 250%
It's very unfair.
tariff on milk.
India
Our
charges
milk
us
going into
auto
Canada.
tariffs
But now they're
higher
mad at us
than
tariffing them.
100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea, but that's what happens. This is happening by friend and foe. This system is not fair to the United States and never was, and so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth.
How can that
Whatever
not
they
be
tax
okay?
us,
Somebody explain to me how that could not
we
be
will
okay.
tax them. If they do
Robin
non-monetary
Roney, that's right. It's our
tariffs
time to be first. Exactly.
to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China, and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer.
That's right. Why would we pay 3 or 4 times the amount
Much has been
of
said
tariffs? Why?
over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Yep. They are, in effect,
China,
receiving
transported through the northern and southern
subsidies
border.
of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer.
Well, why would you pay people to invade you? Why would you pay people
America
to kill you?
First policies we're
Why would you
putting
pay people to
into
tax you?
place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks.
$1.7
The
trillion.
combination of the election
Where was that with Biden?
and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment.
Where was that with Biden? Zero.
OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion
$500
investment,
billion.
which they
Where was that with
wouldn't
Biden?
have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said,
Say
I
it
cannot
again.
spend
Say it
it
again,
fast
which they
enough. It's
wouldn't
going to
do
be much
if
higher
Kamala
than that,
won.
I believe.
Say it again.
They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA.
What was that under Biden? Never happened. Not one of these things. $500 billion for this, $500 billion for that. Under Biden, zero for this, zero for that. No economic growth. Just economic
and we're
implosion.
not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds
CHIPS
of
Act under
billions of
Biden.
dollars, and it
Just
doesn't
government
mean a thing.
subsidies
They
to
take
NGOs.
our money
That's all
and
it
they
is.
don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people, and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to.
Any act that's actually orchestrated by the Democrats is simply a money filtration system through NGOs to pay Democrats. All that it is.
Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer.
Yeah.
Who will now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies. They're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden
kept Trump's
did not
Chinese
enforce
tariffs
it,
in place, but
and
other
it
than
hurt
that,
our
did nothing.
farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. It's all going to happen.
We need to get rid of these giant farming conglomerations and corporations and get back down to family farms,
And I
or at
have
least
also
allow them to
imposed
exist.
a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person, from Decatur, Alabama. Jeff Denard has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raise 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff.
Aaron, if you can, look over at Fox News, because Ian Mark, FB, Fox News just showed us Senator sleeping. You can monitor any of that stuff, like we can flip, and like we did with the debate, like with the debates and stuff.
Thank you, Jeff.
The election. Ian Mark, what senator was sleeping? If you know, put it in the chat.
Not just about protecting American jobs; they're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance.
Mara, make America rich.
We're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us. Very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much, and I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States.
Quite a step up from Joe Biden. Quite a big step up.
Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John. Thank you all very much. Thank you. And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize
so far, so good with the Senate.
Publication of such images online is terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody.
Give me that, Aaron. Give it to me.
Nobody.
That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you.
I'm using it too.
But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast.
There we go. We do need a lot more ICE agents right now, though. It is tough to get this done fast. Uh-oh. Hello.
And I want to thank Tom Homan and Christy. I want to thank you
James
and
Cuckboy
Paul
Langford.
of Border Patrol. I want
Sitting
to
right
thank
next to
you.
Cotton.
What
What
a
a
job
surprise.
they've all done. Everybody,
People
Border
need to be
Patrol,
voted
ICE.
out, primaried.
Well, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement.
Aaron, show me a picture.
Have to.
That was the guy sleeping.
Can you flash that real quick? That's the guy sleeping.
Last year,
There we go.
a brilliant 22-year-old
Your Democratic Party
student named Laken Riley
Couldn't even stay
the
awake.
best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed
And then detained and set loose
administration.
again
It was
after that
indeed a failed
in New York City.
administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
Yeah, I wonder why they weren't at Joe Biden's State of the Union. Democrats at least clapping for her, but they probably can't since they're the ones responsible for her daughter's murder. She's probably looking down on those Democrats right now like, how could you not be showing my daughter some appreciation? Repulsive human
Last
beings.
year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain.
Past Laken
That's
Riley.
why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act.
Few Democrats voted for that. A few. I don't see too many. There's not too many Democrats clapping for the Laken Riley Act. Maybe two.
Riley Act.
Yeah, I
so
only saw two.
Allison
Yeah.
and Lauren, America will never ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley.
You Democrats never applied to themselves. What if that was your daughter? How would you feel about the party that let into her country to murder her, then detained him, then let him loose again?
Thank you very much. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you.
To be a Democrat, you can't applaud the lowest amount of illegal border crossings in United States history.
The Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation.
No, that's
to
James
secure the
Cuckboy
border.
Langford, too, in the
But
Republican
it turned
Party.
out that all we really needed was a new president.
Eat it. The laws are already in place. You don't need to pass legislation to legislate in already passed legislation and laws. You simply act on the laws that are already in place.
Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them.
How can you be a
Overwhelm
Democrat?
Our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield,
Overrun.
Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America. But
Lie.
there's
How's it a
still
lie? Explain to us how it's a lie.
is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know Alexis
this is sad deal right
Nungary
here.
from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested
Good job,
and charged
Democrats.
with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly.
She pointed at the Democrats and just tell them it's your
Alexis, I
fault.
promised
You disgusting,
that we would
repulsive human
always
beings.
remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter. And earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis,
So awesome.
moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
Oh, this is just absolute gangster right here. This is gangster. And look at the Democrats. You cannot applaud a park being named after an illegal alien being named after a woman killed by an illegal alien that you allowed in the country. You have to just sit there right now and not applaud a park being named after a victim of murder when the assailant was an illegal alien that you allowed in the country. That's
Thank
what
you
it means to
very
be a
much.
Democrat in 2025.
All 3 savages
Disgusting,
charged
man.
with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison
Tren de
gang,
Agua.
the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as
Venezuelan prison
Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug
Terrorists?
cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations. They
Those
are
are your
now
daughter, Democrats.
officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy.
Well, pin down to the Democrats. I want to see if they're at least applauding him.
In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much. Thank you, Roberto.
Awesome.
And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great, great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war on America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing.
Well, according to the Mexican president, we're not allowed to do any incursions into Mexico.
Ago, Mexican
but we will anyway,
authorities,
just like we did Pakistan.
because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever. But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it.
You won't even believe it.
And as we reclaim our sovereignty to our cities and towns,
I wish they'd do more shots like this. We need a lot more shots like this.
in recent years,
Look at this.
our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bondi. Good luck. So important. Going to do a great job. Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash.
That is probably the man that scares the Democrats the most. Right there. That's the one who makes them the most nervous.
They've already started very strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very proud of them. We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so
I looked at another one.
dearly deserve. They have to get
They've
it.
got like 3
they
up.
have such a hard,
Three what?
dangerous job.
I have
We're
like
gonna
3
make
of
it
them
less
up.
dangerous.
Yeah, there we go.
The
Let's
problem
see
is
more
the
of this.
bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes
Why would you
our
respect
great
the law if
fire
you're a Soros
departments throughout
prosecutor?
the
Won't
country.
prosecute
Our
you for
firemen
violating
and
it.
Women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice.
Eat it.
1 year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him
No cash
had
bail, that's
14
why.
prior arrests. and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie,
That's what you do, Democrats, right here.
Stephanie.
That's what you do.
Thank you very much.
Bad deal, man.
Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast.
Yeah, well, why won't you do it, Democrats?
They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law.
Okay. What Democratic Party policies have done to that family right there. She now no longer has a husband. Her son doesn't have a father, all because of Democratic Party policies. Look at those scumbags just sitting there. Look at those freaking worthless scumbags sitting there while that woman stands.
Repeat offenders while
Disgusting,
enhancing
repulsive
protections
human
for
beings.
America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
Okay, strong. There's our congressman, Greg Stubbe.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Be healed in Jesus' name.
Democrats can't even clap for a kid.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
That is awesome. Holy moly. Wow. Look at that. That is so freaking cool. Trump is the boss. Trump is the boss, man. Look at that, man. That is so awesome. That is really awesome. Wow. Man, that is so cool.
Thank you, DJ.
Look at the Democrats still not clapping. Amazing.
DJ's
Amazing.
doctors
What a
believe
bunch
his
of heartless
cancer
worms.
likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%.
We're going to be talking
Reversing
about
this
RFK
trend is
Jr.
one
now.
of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr.
So awesome. Man, that is great.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering.
Yeah, I guess not.
How quickly they forget. Our goal is to
Way
get
to go,
toxins
Trump. Call him
our
out. That is so
environment,
awesome.
Poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago,
What the heck
and
was that
you
eruption?
can't even believe these numbers. 1 in
The demons crying
10,000
out.
children had autism.
Legion.
1 in 10,000.
For there are many.
And now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong. 1 in 36. Think of that.
Yeah, it's called
so
vaccines.
we're going to find out what it
Don't
is,
mess
and
with
there's
God's
nobody
system.
better
God
than
knows what he's
Bobby
doing.
And all of the people that are working
God
with
created a
you.
perfect
You have the
body.
best
Leave it alone.
To figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby, good luck. It's a very important job.
He already knows, but he'll figure it out. The problem is you don't have to have a placebo trial for vaccines. So they've been able to increase the childhood vaccinations from 3 to 70.
My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January, Little John and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns.
Yeah.
They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January,
That's right.
thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Democrats are for they, them. Trump is for you. Democrats are for they, them. Trump is for you. Simple as that. And Democrats have to sit right now because they are for lopping off the penises, breasts, and testicles of
Stories like
12-year-olds.
this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with
Yeah.
transgender
How about reading and writing arithmetic?
ideology.
How's that? Instead of signing them up for body mutilations without telling the parents.
I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth.
You're a Democrat right now. You have to sit. You can't applaud the eradication of sexually mutilating children.
Pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is
That's right. It's a lie. And Democrat, you can't applaud that. This, I believe, Aaron. I believe this speech is actually doing a lot of damage to the Democratic Party.
Oh yeah,
because they can't applaud anything good.
Exactly the way God made you.
That's right. God knows what He's doing. Yahweh's got it. He's got it. Genesis 1:27, Genesis 2:7. God knows His creation. We're good.
Wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out. And our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight.
That's right. Lethality,
for our
baby.
country.
Pete Hegseth.
And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations. And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services.
And you can't applaud that either, Kenny. There's Democrats sitting behind them. They can't applaud them. They can't applaud it. The damage that's being done to the Democratic Party with this speech is huge. You can't applaud record military recruitment if you're a Democrat. That violates your ideology?
A few months ago, where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit.
Yeah, 40-year
Now
low
we're
in
having
recruitment.
the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley,
Weeping
who
and
knows
gnashing
the
of
weight
teeth.
of that Call of Duty.
Literally.
Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather
It's gonna haunt me tonight.
all wore the uniform.
You're going to wake up with that in your
Jason
face.
tragically lost
You're
his
sitting in
dad,
your bedroom.
who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a 6-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say. A
really good.
Oh, really good.
He's really good.
4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
Ooh. God, Mama. Come on, Fox News. Show them whether they're daggum applauding this guy or not. That's all they care about, man.
Jason,
You know they're
that's
not.
a very big deal getting in. That's a hard
Here's
one
Elon.
to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Wow.
Man, you get approved at basically a State of the Union address. Man, the pressure is on you. We'll see that.
Oh, that's cute.
Thank you. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland.
Where was all this under the Biden administration? They can't even applaud for that. If you're a Democrat, you can't applaud a Golden Dome missile defense system over the United States of America. You can't applaud that as a Democrat. How can anybody be a Democrat? Hope some Democrats are watching right now.
The technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too, right, Tim? Right? They should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before.
Someone needs to throw holy water.
To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding.
Yep. We don't have the most advanced Navy anymore. China does, but not for long. Not for long.
We're turning it around. Believe me, it's going to happen.
Create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast,
I love
very
Trump's
soon.
little additions.
We'll have a huge
we used to make a lot of
further
shit.
enhance our national security. My administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
Can't vote for, you can't clap for that either as a Democrat. Let's see what 5 of them did. Just a repulsive human beings.
I looked, and those are actually Republicans on that side.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Just the 5 people standing on the Dem side?
Yeah.
Man, that would suck to have to sit on their side.
I know.
Must have run out of seats.
And Paulina Luna is one of them.
Oh.
It's because they have the majority.
So 0.
Yeah.
0 Democrats.
Yeah.
Americans,
0
not
Democrats
for
voting for
others.
the reclamation
But others
of the
could
Panama
use it.
Canal.
But it was built at
So far, so
tremendous
good.
cost of
Marco's done well.
American
Don't like his
blood
body
and
language, but he's done pretty well.
38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25%
Not a nice place to work.
chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China.
Deflated.
How can you give it away?
We're
What a
taking it
bunch of
back.
idiots. Of course, what party is Carter part of? Okay, Democrat. Yeah, okay. Steve Scalise got shot by a Democrat. Does any Democrat ever get shot by a Republican? No.
And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it. He got 100 votes.
That's not a good sign.
You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes. And I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it.
There you go.
He's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you.
That was funny.
See, Trump can always pull like niceness out of his hat. I can't pull that off.
That was funny, though, that he said, I'm either happy about that or concerned. That's funny.
And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland.
This is great.
We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America.
Come on,
We
Greenland.
need Greenland for
all the people watching in
security
Greenland
and
right
even
now.
international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it. We will keep you safe. We will make you rich.
We wouldn't want to expand the United States of America, would we? Why are you booing that? But you want to send $350 billion to Volodymyr Zelensky.
Very large piece of land and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
Absolutely.
Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice.
And he's here in the gallery. No, just kidding. Stand up.
March him through. We're going to march him through the House chambers. These idiots on their phones. They're so freaking disgusting. Yeah, some free TV making them great again.
And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13
Why is everybody
families
hiding
who I
Pakistan?
actually
That's
got
the
to know
question that
very
needs to be
well,
asked.
most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan.
Well, they knew 12 hours in advance the Unabomber was coming.
Such incompetence was shown that when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and
Yeah, remember Joe Biden looking at
everybody
his,
was
looking
on
at
the
his
line,
watch
and
when their sons
they
and
did
daughters are
nothing
being
but cry with
unloaded
happiness.
from
They
the
were
planes.
very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter,
Needlessly
was
butchered.
killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in
These people with
generations.
their lives
The
destroyed
Abraham
because of the
Accords.
Biden administration.
And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything.
Mike Johnson shaking his head.
Gibbs clapping with that.
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
Whoa! Boom!
Whoa.
Pocahontas.
2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than
That's
that.
awesome. The Slayer.
They're
That's
Russian
awesome.
young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans.
Sign up. A lot of you are young enough to go
stop.
and fight. Go fight.
Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine, by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion.
Yeah, all the people claiming Slava
Like taking
Ukraine, they're buying
candy
more
from a
Russian gas
baby.
than the
That's
money
what
they're sending
happened.
to Ukraine.
And they've spent
Disgusting human
$100
beings,
billion.
man.
What a difference that is. And we have
In secured
an ocean
loans.
separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's
Hundreds
hard to
of
believe
billions.
that they
100
wouldn't have
billion to
stopped it and
350
said
billion.
at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while
He
ago.
needs to be told to sign it right now.
Simultaneously, we've had serious
It's a game that he's
discussions
been
with
playing
Russia
for weeks.
and have
I'll
received
sign it, then I
strong
won't sign
signals
it.
that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Not for Pocahontas. So she's getting lots of money from NGOs that are supporting Ukraine.
Oh, a Democrat clap. Oh.
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Am I allowed to clap on this one? It's
It's time
pro-Ukraine,
to stop
but
this
not
madness.
war.
It's
So
time to halt the killing.
It's a tweener.
Yeah.
It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years
You got that,
ago,
Democrats?
amid
That's how it
rising
actually
tensions,
works.
A history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely
Ignored him
lifted a
for 4
finger to
years.
help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that.
22
And they
days
are
comparison
here
to
tonight.
4 years. Democratic Party, 4 years, does absolutely nothing. Trump, 22 days, the guy's home. What a comparison. 4 years, wide open border. 3 days, borders closed. And how could anybody want to be a Democrat? Look at Schiff. Again, I don't mean to be redundant, but what a repulsive human being that guy is. To not applaud a prisoner being released from Russia. I thought you were anti-Russia. Aren't you glad he's out of Russia, Adam? Gosh.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years.
Oh, man, that is
I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their 2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
Will the Democrats applaud them? Yeah, you know Thomas Crooks, the guy who's practicing at the DHS gun range? Kind of strange, isn't it? You know, the one run by Alejandro Mayorkas? That's kind of coincidental.
Yeah, they got some Democrats.
Yeah, there are some Democrats actually applauding them.
Shocking.
Yeah. Eventually, even when you are absolutely demonic, the pressure makes you
To
stand
Helen,
up.
Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his 3 beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for giving us the golden age of America. You got Thomas Crooks with his overseas encrypted accounts, but against,
Thank you very much.
That's
From
very
the
common
Patriots
for
of
20-year-olds
Lexington and
working
Concord,
as a
to the
nutrition
heroes
assistant
of
in a nursing
Gettysburg
home.
and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon. Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive
in the
and
chamber
thriving
tonight
in
is
the
that
hearts
Democrats
of
can't applaud for anything
American
good
people.
and can only applaud for anything
Despite
evil.
the best
That's all they
efforts
can
of
applaud
those
for.
who would try to
And wear your
censor us,
Pepto-Bismol
silence
outfits
us,
all you
break
want,
us,
ladies.
destroy us,
Doesn't give you virtue.
Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age, these workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities, these warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty, and it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we're going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
There we go. A little Elon action right there. Yeah, Elon in his spare time. Look at, I mean, again, and I know this is redundant, but look what you can't applaud as a Democrat. Why would you not applaud the healthiest, greatest, most expansive American in history? Amazing.
And through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve.
Yeah, this sucks to be a Democrat.
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun.
That's
it will
right.
be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
There we go. All right, like I said, I won't keep everybody on too long. It's already almost 11 o'clock. I love you guys. Appreciate it. Can't believe we have almost 600 people watching. Rumble Rants, Texas Billy, $50. Earth Tours, $20. Will Gilbert, too, our other assistant producer, $10. Thank you guys so much for all that. Listen, we're back here tomorrow night. As always, at 9 o'clock. I didn't get to any of my stack of stuff. I thought maybe if Trump went short, maybe I'd be able to. We'll just end it here, and we won't do a post game or anything. We're good. We'll just end it right here. It's 11 o'clock. So,
save
but
that
anyway,
tomorrow.
yeah, we'll save the stuff for tomorrow. But anyway, we love you guys. Appreciate you. Back here tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. See you then. Who was David? A man after, he worshiped God. For without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Hebrews 11:6, right? A lot of you are not receiving that which you want to receive because, again, but without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is. A lot of people get that he is a rewarder, but they don't get that he is, and he's worthy of your worship. So you can't break through because you don't have enough unbelief that's been cast down. Because you're not a worshiper. You don't understand how powerful Yahweh is. You can go to heaven and never raise a hand. You can go to heaven and never shout hallelujah or dance or run around or whatever it is that you do. But if you really want to receive, you have to know who he is. And if you know who he is, then you're going to worship him. Your hands are going to go up in the air.
Thank you for watching the Tom Laipply podcast. We appreciate your support. As a special thank you, when you donate $25 or more, you'll receive a free TLP mug. Sip your favorite beverage while enjoying all the insights from our episodes. Your support helps us keep bringing you current events from around the globe. Donate now to claim your mug.